Hi students, welcome again. And today I am discussing the very important aspects of the chapter Transpiration. Transpiration is very important for, especially for ICSE students, because they are having this chapter separately in their syllabus. So, what is transpiration? First of all, it is the process by which water is lost in form of water vapor from the internal tissues of the plants through the aerial parts of the plants mainly. So this is transpiration, loss of water in form of water vapor from the internal tissues through the aerial parts of the plants mainly. And what are the modes of transpiration? What are the types of transpiration? So they are the stomatal transpiration, secondly the cuticular transpiration, and thirdly the lenticular transpiration. Stomatal transpiration means transpiration through stomata. What is happening? During daytime, photosynthesis is taking place because sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So the stomata are mostly open in the daytime. And also for the CO2 to diffuse in, stomata has to be open in the daytime mostly. So at the same time, water is also being lost through the in the form of water vapors through the stomata. Stomata is open most of the time. CO2 is diffusing in and water vapors are also diffusing out. So this is stomatal transpiration, students. Second is cuticular transpiration. There is a thin layer called cuticle on the outer surface of the leaf. So water vapors also escape through this cuticle, which is called cuticular transpiration. Thirdly, there are lenticels, small pores on the stems of or on the bark of the woody plants and trees. So water vapors also diffuse out through these pores, which are called lenticels, and the transpiration is called lenticular transpiration. So these are the three types of transpiration. And now what are the factors which determine the rate of transpiration? How the rate is increased or how it is decreased. So students, you will just visualize that during daytime sunlight is there, and sunlight is also determining the degree of opening of the stomata. So most of the time it is open, and the opening is more because of the intensity of the sunlight. So more and more water vapor will be diffusing out. So during sunlight the rate is increasing. The rate increases during sunlight. And also during sunlight, what is happening? The temperature of the leaf is increasing. So because leaves are absorbing the sunlight, so the more and more water vapor will go out. More water vapors will be formed and they will diffuse out. So in sunlight, the rate of transpiration increases. Secondly, the temperature of the air. If the temperature outside is high, then more water vapors will be produced and they will diffuse out. So the rate will increase here. When the temperature is high in the air. Thirdly, if the moisture is more in the atmosphere, if the air is humid, so what will happen? It will be saturated. There will be no space for further water vapors, for further accommodation of water vapors. So the rate will decrease. Already moisture is there in the atmosphere if the air is humid. So naturally the new water vapors that are being produced in the leaves or in the plants So they will not have enough space to be accommodated in the atmosphere. So the rate will decrease. And then if the velocity of the wind is very high, if the wind is moving very fast, then the moistures, then the water vapors that have been diffusing out from the leaves will be moved also very fast. So more and more water vapors will be diffused out, will go out in the atmosphere. So the rate will again increase. If the wind is blowing fast, if the wind is moving fast, the rate of transpiration will increase. If the absorption of water is more, of course depends on the availability of water in the soil, and by the absorption of the roots, the more transpiration will be there, more water will be lost, so it will also increase the rate of the transpiration. So these are the atmospheric factors that determine the rate of the transpiration, and in most of the cases you've seen that the rate increases, but in one condition where the air will be humid or there will be moisture in the atmosphere, the rate will decrease, because further diffusion of water vapors, water loss in form of water vapors will be slowed down. So the rate will decrease. More water vapors will not be accommodated in the atmosphere, because already the air is humid, already moisture is there. Already the air is saturated with moisture. So these are the factors which are determining the rate of transpiration. So this you have to remember, students. Questions can come in any form, in MCQ, in form of MCQ, multiple choice question, or short answer questions or long answer questions, in case study, form of case study. So if you are thorough with these concepts, you will be able to answer them correctly. So this is how you prepare, you revise the chapters in the important aspects, what questions and how the questions will come. That is very difficult that is not possible to ascertain or ensure. But this thing you can ensure, that you are thorough with the chapter. So that is why I am revising the important aspects as far as possible. And then the instruments that are used to determine the rate of transpiration or the transpiration process, you have to go through them. They are there in your books. And among them the photometer, which is also used for the determining the process, or to show the process of transpiration. In that, Ganong's photometer is very important. You please go through this experiment, this apparatus, which is there in your books. And what actually is being done in this apparatus, that is Ganong's photometer, is the rate of water uptake is being seen in the graduated or in the calibrated capillaries, where the scale is there. So it is not possible to determine the amount of water lost, but it is possible to see the amount of water which is there, the water uptake, the amount of water uptake can be seen. So this is the apparatus for that. And you have to understand, and the air bubble is there in the horizontal part of the apparatus, and it is moving along as the water uptake is there. Along with that, the air bubble is also moving. So as the leaves of the twig, which is there, fitted there, transpiration is taking place. suction force is being created. It is pulling more water from the beaker and the air bubble is moving along. So this is the gist of this experiment. You please go through the experiment which is there in the book and remember the salient features. Now we come to the another important aspect, that is your the importance or significance of transpiration. Significance of transpiration, it is that what are the significance of transpiration? That is removal of excess water from the plant. Excess water is being lost. If excess water is there, what will happen? The cells can burst. The cells can burst because of excess water. So it will cause damage to the cells. So excess water is being removed by the process of transpiration. And then absorption of water and nutrients from the soil. So due to the transpiration, water is absorbed from the soil. The absorption of water also helps in the intake of inorganic salts which are dissolved in the water. So inorganic salts and minerals are dissolved in the water. So absorption of water and nutrients from the soil are taking place, because then only water is going up and water is lost through water vapors. So more and more water and minerals are absorbed because the loss is there. So this is an advantage. More and more water and minerals will be absorbed because transpiration is taking place there. And then ascent of sap, because of the transpiration pool, we had discussed earlier also, the water and minerals are pulled up in the vascular tissue, that is xylem. So this is the transpiration pool, a suction force which is generated by the process of transpiration. When the water is lost in form of water vapors, a suction pool is created which is pulling the water up, water and minerals. So this is a great advantage or benefit out of transpiration to the plants. And then distribution of water and salts throughout the plant body. Due to the transpiration pool, water is distributed throughout the plant body. The water also carries with it the mineral salts absorbed by the plant. And this transpiration is what it is doing. It is cooling the plant even in hot weather. So it is regulating the temperature also inside the plants. It is cooling the plants and prevents the plants from drying up and also cools the environment. So these are the benefits of transpiration, students, that you have to remember. So with that, I think I will close this revision and will come with some other important revisions. So thank you so much.